Hello and a very warm welcome to St Peter Mancroft Church here in the heart of Norwich. I'm Edward Carter, the vicar here. It's lovely to welcome any of you who are here in the church today, but also any joining us online for our weekly live streamed reflection, which happens every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Thank you for joining us today, or if you're watching this later on, catching up, thank you again for dialing in. But if you're just here in the church looking around, do feel free to carry on enjoying your visit. I'm just going to share a few thoughts for the next few minutes. And I wondered if you noticed, it's been in the papers, perhaps on television as well, that just at the moment there's something called a planetary alignment happening. In fact, a few days ago, a grand total of 6 of the planets in our solar system were all aligned in the sky. Well, roughly aligned. They weren't exactly in a straight line. They were all visible at one time up in the sky. Mars and Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Venus and Saturn. Probably not all with the naked eye. If you have a really decent telescope or a good pair of binoculars, then apparently you could see them all at once in the sky. I have to confess, I don't possess a telescope that was good enough to see them all. But I did see some, certainly Venus, and I think one or two of the others. And if I had had an amazing telescope, I think I would have been able to see all 6. And then that was probably a day or two ago, and just about still happening now. But in about 1 month's time, at the end of February, maybe early March, apparently also Mercury will join in with this planetary alignment. And there'll be 7 planets in our solar system, all visible at one time in the sky, the night sky. As I say, not really a perfect line. One of the other ways it's described is a planetary parade, which sounds rather splendid. Imagine them all marching along. But certainly a cluster in that quadrant of the sky as we look up. They'll all be visible. And it's very unusual. It doesn't happen very often. Of course, regularly, one or other of the planets might be there in the night sky, certainly Venus. But it's very, very unusual for more than perhaps 2 or 3 to all be in the sky at once. And so for 7 in a month or so's time, that really will be very extraordinary. In fact, I looked up when these things happen roughly. And to see 7 in a month's time will be great. If you want to wait for the next opportunity, but it'll only be 5, I'm afraid, then you'll have to wait till September 2040. So that's 15 years' time, a bit of a long wait, I'm afraid. And that will be for only 5 of the planets, but also with a lovely crescent moon, apparently. So, yeah, I might hang on for 15 years, I think, to enjoy that. And then another 40 years after that, in March 2080, I suspect most of us, if not all of us, might no longer be here on Earth by then. 6 planets will again all be there in alignment. And Jupiter and Saturn apparently will be very close together in the sky. It'll be what's called a great conjunction of those 2 biggest planets in our solar system. And then if you really, really want to go for it, and you want to be around at the point when all the solar system planets, including the Earth, are all aligned, all in the same sector, well then apparently you'd have to wait till May 2161. So that's an awful long time. I suspect we probably haven't got the patience or the stamina to wait quite that long. But then I found myself asking, what does it mean? You know, why is it important? What does it do if all the planets are aligned in that way, if they're all clustered together? There have been 1 or 2 slightly wacky ideas about if all the planets are lined up, is their gravitational pull such that they cause strange things to happen on the Earth? Perhaps one of those great tidal waves or tsunamis or maybe earthquakes. But most scientists feel that actually that's not true at all. The gravitational pull, if you think about it, is really very tiny. Even if all the planets are lined up, it's really insignificant. So generally speaking, it's felt that no, there isn't a direct kind of physical gravitational effect on the Earth. But of course, it is an amazing and cool stargazing event. And plenty of people have pulled out their telescopes or just looked up into the night sky and been amazed by what they've seen. And certainly it's a reminder of the wonder, the beauty, the intricacy of this universe in which we're set, the vastness of it, but also, as I say, its wonder and beauty, the extraordinary things that are all around us. So then I found myself wondering, well, yes, this is an interesting scientific moment, if you like, for stargazers, for astronomers. Is it perhaps as well, in some sense, a spiritual moment? And that's a harder question to answer, I suspect, because we think about spiritual things in many, many different ways, some of which do connect with the earth and indeed beyond the earth, the creation in which we live. But I did find myself pondering this question as I looked up into the sky, and some of the planets were there, all of them, lots of them to see. And I suppose I found myself being reminded, as the planets have all lined up, that just sometimes in life, things do line up. Things do come together. They align, if you like. Maybe in our own lives, or maybe in the lives of people we know and love or care for. I don't know if you've ever had that feeling. I have sometimes in life when you kind of feel in your bones that you're in the right place, at just the right time, the right moment in life. And somehow, by God's grace, I would say, you're doing the right thing. You know, your vocation, if you like, is being fulfilled. That's maybe unusual in life, but that sense of being in the right place, the right time, doing the right thing, it is an amazing thing, a powerful thing. I think I've discovered in my life that you can't really engineer it. You can't plan for it or design it even, although you can keep your eyes and ears open to the possibilities. But it's more like a gift, really. It's a gift, that sense of everything coming together and things being aligned. It can be just for a short while. And indeed, I don't think it's ever something that carries on day by day, week by week. It's more like a glimpse of something beautiful, almost perfect, about our experience of life. When things come together in that way and all align. A beautiful gift, and I would say a beautiful gift from God. I think it's part of how God blesses us and God's providence in our lives. Of course, it would be quite easy for us not to notice the planetary alignment. Indeed, don't worry if that's the case for you. It's passed you by. That's fine. There are so many other things to concentrate on. It would be very easy to miss it. We might be too busy. We might be distracted. As I say, maybe we didn't even hear about it or know about it. Because to see the planetary alignment, we need to look up into the sky at just that right moment. Ideally, as I said earlier, with a telescope, with the equipment we need to notice this extraordinary phenomenon. And I think in a roundabout way, it's the same for noticing, appreciating the blessings of life. Those moments when everything lines up perfectly, when everything aligns and comes together. I found myself asking, do I notice those moments of blessing when they come along? Or am I too busy or just forgetful of that possibility? Do I notice those moments? Do I remember, having noticed them, to be grateful? Actually, simply to say a thank you. And for me, do I remember to give thanks to God? Do I remember that actually God does, in his wonderful generosity, bless us in so many ways? Do I remember to notice God in my life? Well, those are questions I've asked myself, and who knows, perhaps you might want to ask them also for yourself. I think they're good questions to ponder. How do we notice God in our lives? How do we notice those moments when things come together in a beautiful way, and when we're blessed. And then do we remember simply to be grateful? Because when we're grateful, I believe, to God, then that really does change our experience of life. It shifts that focus back to the way God is working out his purposes in our lives in the most wonderful and extraordinary and mysterious way. Well, if you are minded to look up into the night sky in about a month's time, good luck seeing that great planetary alignment, 7 planets all at once. It won't happen again in any of our lifetimes. Good luck if you're aiming to do that. But almost more importantly, good luck and blessings for you as you remember to look up, as it were, at your own life. And as you notice again what a beautiful gift life is from God, and what a beautiful gift those moments of alignment are for us when things are happening in just the right way, the right time, the right place, doing the right things that I believe God has called us to do. Well, thank you for listening to me today. We have one of these reflections every week. One of my colleagues will be here in a week's time, next Wednesday, to give a reflection. Do join us again for that if you can. But in the meantime, blessings. Blessings from God, blessings from this church of St. Peter Mancroft. May you recognise those moments of blessings in your life. Thank you.